There is a luxurious apartment complex in New York City known as the Tower. Its penthouse belongs to Wall Street billionaire Arthur. After taking a late-night swim in the rooftop pool, Arthur continues playing online chess with Josh, the building manager. The next morning, Josh is on his way to work when he runs into a man named Slide, who angrily scolds him for walking on his side of the street. Josh ignores him, which only makes Slide even angrier. At the Tower, Josh and doorman Lester escort Arthur to his car. Arthur tells them that he likes them so much that he might even bring them to work at the hotel he plans to open. Shortly after, the general manager, Simon, warns Josh that Charlie is missing from the reception desk and must show up within 3 minutes. Josh then notices Lovienko studying for her bar exam and tells her to do it during her break instead. She pretends she isn't studying. Suddenly, Josh hears a buzzing sound and snaps. Enrique apologizes, admitting he left his phone on vibrate. Simon explains that Enrique is the new elevator operator, so Josh lays down the rules: no tips, no phones, and full attention to the tenants at all times. Moments later, Josh sees that his brother-in-law Charlie has arrived 20 minutes late. Charlie explains that his pregnant wife is in her 3rd trimester, but he isn't too worried about losing his job. To prove his value, Charlie impresses an Asian tenant by giving her flowers and speaking Chinese. Later, Josh visits Fitzu to remind him that he has been evicted and the bank is coming the next day. Fitzu reveals that he lost his job and has nowhere to go. Feeling sorry for him, Josh agrees to buy him some time by telling the bank to reschedule due to elevator maintenance. After their shift, Lester tells Josh that this will be his final year working at the Tower because he plans to retire. The following morning, Josh sees Slide arguing loudly with a woman on the street, causing a public scene. At work, Josh notices something unusual: Arthur's car is still parked outside, meaning he hasn't left at his usual time. Across the street, a black sedan has been parked for 2 days without receiving any tickets. Suddenly, several men step out of the sedan. Thinking they are robbers, Lester locks the front door while Josh rushes inside and announces a code black, sealing all exits. He checks the security cameras but can't find the men. Then he notices a laundry van at the back of the building, which is strange since pickup was supposed to be the day before. Moments later, the men force Arthur into the van. Josh realizes it's a kidnapping and orders the guard to call 911 before chasing after the vehicle. The van crashes through the shutter and speeds away. Josh runs after it but is suddenly taken down by Agent Claire. At the same time, the van crashes, and FBI agents surround Arthur and arrest him. Josh tries to defend Arthur, claiming he's the victim, but Claire explains that it wasn't a kidnapping. Arthur was trying to escape because he knew he was wanted. Soon, news spreads everywhere that Arthur has been arrested for fraud, and all his assets have been frozen. Josh gathers all the Tower employees and explains that Arthur was in charge of managing their pensions, meaning their money is most likely gone. The next day, Arthur is released on a $10 million bail but placed under house arrest. Claire informs Josh that the penthouse floor is now under FBI control and explains the new rules. Inside the penthouse, she's shocked to see a car. Arthur reveals it's a Ferrari once owned by Steve McQueen, purchased for $1 million and now worth over $10 million. The car was dismantled and reassembled inside the apartment. Arthur asks Josh to handle his meals and tries to tip him, but Josh reminds him that tips are against the rules. On his way home, Josh sees Slide being arrested. Slide asks Josh to record the incident, claiming police mistreatment, but Josh ignores him again. Later that night, Lester stands at a subway platform, overwhelmed by dark thoughts. Minutes later, Josh receives an urgent call from Charlie and rushes to the hospital. He learns that Lester attempted to take his own life, but a police officer saved him at the last moment. Lester reveals that he invested all his savings with Arthur and can no longer afford to retire. Josh promises that Arthur will return his money. Back at the Tower, Josh finds Fitzu in the elevator. He has been fully evicted, and his wife has taken the kids in their divorce. Since Fitzu worked on Wall Street, Josh asks when Arthur likely realized his business was collapsing. Fitzu believes it happened about a year earlier and that Arthur took Lester's money just to maintain appearances. When they reach the penthouse, FBI agents refuse to let them in, but Charlie convinces them by saying they're there to collect Arthur's trash and breakfast order. Inside, Josh finally confronts Arthur, accusing him of everything. Arthur continues to deny it and insists the FBI is lying. Furious, Josh grabs a golf club and smashes the Ferrari, breaking its windows and lights while shouting at Arthur for his lies. Soon after, Simon fires Josh, along with Charlie and Enrique for helping him. Josh says goodbye to the employees and tries to talk to Charlie, who believes Josh always wanted him fired. Josh admits it and points out that Charlie was bad at his job, even reminding him that he once spoke Chinese to a Korean woman. Charlie storms off without listening. Later, Josh meets Claire at a bar and gives her detailed information about Arthur, including his travel records. Claire explains that the FBI already knows everything and that the bank will likely seize all of Arthur's assets, leaving almost no chance of recovering the employees' money. Disappointed, Josh prepares to leave, but Claire invites him to drink. As they get drunk, she explains that criminals like Arthur usually hide emergency money somewhere. The FBI discovered that $20 million was withdrawn from Arthur's account months earlier, but no one knows where it went. This sparks an idea in Josh's mind. The next day, Josh returns to the tower. A guard tries to stop him, but Josh claims he forgot something and reminds the guard that he has dirt on him. Inside his office, Josh checks his notebook and finds notes about a safe Arthur once bought. After researching the model, Josh tracks down Enrique, Charlie, and Fitzu for a secret meeting. At Josh's apartment, he explains that Arthur installed a safe years ago, then remodeled the penthouse, tearing down every wall except one. Josh believes the safe is hidden behind that wall, which is why the FBI couldn't find it. He's convinced the missing $20 million is inside and wants to steal it, but he needs their help. Enrique and Fitzu agree, while Charlie hesitates, pointing out that none of them know how to steal. Josh says he already has a solution. Soon after, Slide is released from prison, shocked to learn someone paid his bail. Outside, he finds Josh waiting. Josh gives him a ride, but Slide angrily asks why Josh helped him after ignoring him for so long. After a tense drive, Josh reveals they attended the same daycare as kids. When Slide finally remembers, he mocks Josh for his childhood seizures. The argument continues until Josh tells him about the plan. At a mall, Slide meets the rest of the group and immediately doubts their usefulness. To prove themselves, Slide gives them 15 minutes to steal something. Each person distracts a store employee while secretly hiding an item. When they return, Slide is impressed and agrees to help, revealing he also stole their wallets. Later, the group meets on a snowy rooftop. Slide refuses to let them wear jackets, explaining that during a robbery, things can change instantly, so they must stay alert. He hands them bobby pins and teaches them how to practice lockpicking. Josh then explains that they'll need a way to avoid security cameras, guards, the doorman, and other tower employees. The group goes to a restaurant near the tower to study the movement of the guards and police in the area. Fitzu worries they won't be able to afford lunch, but Slide pulls out a bag with a roach inside, planning to get the meal for free. With enough information gathered, Josh explains the plan using a Lego model. Slide will hide the money for a week to avoid suspicion, since he's the only one not connected to the tower. Enrique doubts Slide's trustworthiness, which angers him. Slide pulls out a gun, forcing Josh to calm him down and remind everyone that the heist has a strict no-guns rule. Suddenly, Claire arrives with 2 police officers. The group panics and hides while Josh answers the door. Claire tells him the judge plans to dismiss Arthur's case at the next hearing, but Arthur wants to press charges against Josh for destroying the Ferrari. However, Arthur is willing to drop everything if Josh apologizes. Minutes later, Josh apologizes to Arthur in the penthouse. Arthur accepts smugly and compares the situation to winning a chess match. Afterward, Claire gives Josh a ride and secretly shows him footage of him smashing the Ferrari, which she illegally obtained to help him. Josh asks her out for Saturday, and she agrees. When Josh returns home, the group scolds him for dating an FBI agent while planning a crime. Slide also admits he doesn't know how to crack Arthur's modern safe, meaning they'll need an expert. Josh contacts Odessa, a maid at the tower whose father was a locksmith. After seeing the safe, she confirms she can open it in 15 minutes. Slide becomes intrigued, and Odessa teaches him how to do it. The next day, Josh and Fitzu observe the tower and notice Charlie entering. Josh confronts him when he leaves, and Charlie reveals that Simon offered him the building manager position. He refuses to help with the heist and threatens to call the police. Meanwhile, Claire is summoned to the penthouse and learns the court date has been moved to Thanksgiving. Arthur also plans to press charges against Josh afterward. Claire warns Josh that he'll be arrested by the weekend, but Josh is pleased, as this is part of his plan. On the big day, the streets are closed for the parade, and Lester is back at work. Claire and the FBI escort Arthur out for the hearing, and Odessa signals Josh once they're gone. Meanwhile, Enrique steals Charlie's wife's phone from her purse on the subway and gives it to Josh. Security guards become distracted by a Playboy magazine featuring one of the tenants. Odessa pretends it's a coworker's birthday and brings a cake into the lobby, getting everyone to sing. As the staff gathers to watch balloons outside, Josh, Enrique, and Fitzu sneak inside. Slide pretends to be a bank employee and convinces Simon to let him into Fitzu's old apartment. Josh's team tries to reach the elevator, but Slide and Simon get in first, forcing them to take the stairs. Inside the apartment, Slide locks Simon in a closet and turns on the radio to cover his cries for help. Odessa attempts to drug the FBI guard with cake, but he refuses due to a chocolate allergy. She instead knocks him out with her made cart. Josh's team shuts down the elevator, while Slide escapes by climbing up the elevator shaft. The trio reaches the penthouse, puts on masks, disables the cameras, and breaks through the wall to reveal the safe. Slide appears and points his gun at them, but Odessa disarms him, allowing Fitzu to take the weapon. Odessa cracks the safe, only to discover it's empty. During a struggle, Slide accidentally fires the gun, hitting the car. Josh inspects the bullet hole and realizes the entire Ferrari is made of gold. Fitzu calculates its value at $4 million. Josh quickly forms a new plan to steal the car. Enrique lowers the rooftop crane as Josh and Slide remove the penthouse window and secure the car. The crane lowers it toward Fitzu's apartment, but Fitzu freezes in fear. As strong winds push the car, Fitzu is pulled out of the window and nearly falls to his death, until Charlie saves him at the last second. Working together, they finally pull the car inside. Charlie scolds Josh but agrees to help once he realizes the car is solid gold. Since the elevator won't fit the car, Charlie suggests placing it on top of the elevator. While searching the car, Josh finds a notebook containing details of Arthur's illegal operations. As they push the car onto the elevator roof, a tenant appears asking for help with her dog. Charlie takes the puppy to distract her. The elevator suddenly begins moving. Enrique warns them that security has overridden the system. Arthur and the FBI enter the elevator below, unknowingly riding beneath the stolen car. The elevator stops just in time before the car crashes through the shaft. Josh calls Lester and tells him to back Slide's stolen truck up to the elevator. In the penthouse, Claire notices the exposed safe and realizes Arthur violated his parole. She arrests him and orders a full lockdown. Security footage reveals Lester escaping with the truck, leading the FBI on a chase through the parade. When the truck is stopped, it's empty, revealing it was just a distraction. The FBI begins arresting the rest of the team. Josh is handcuffed but tells Claire their dinner reservation is still valid. Arthur threatens them with prison, but Josh reveals the notebook. When Arthur tries to buy it, Enrique reminds him they don't take tips. At FBI headquarters, Claire attempts to interrogate Josh, but Lovienko arrives, announcing she passed the bar exam and will serve as their lawyer. She offers the notebook in exchange for the team's freedom. The FBI agrees, everyone goes free except Josh, who receives a 2-year sentence as a first-time offender. Soon, the media confirms Arthur's guilt using the new evidence. The team returns to the tower and reveals they hid the gold car in the rooftop pool. Arthur is sent to prison, Charlie welcomes his newborn baby, and each tower employee receives a gold piece from the car. In prison, Josh smiles, knowing they won. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications for more movie recaps. Thanks for watching.